Hello everybody, and welcome back to StrangeVoodooTV. I'm Buddy Strange, and this is Buddy's Mock Draft 2.0 for the 2019 NFL Draft. And you know what? Let's just get into it. One quick note on players that are the same as the last mock draft. I'm just not gonna really talk about it because I already talked about it in the last one, and you can just assume the same points go for those players. So without further ado, let's get into it. Pick 1 is gonna be the Cardinals getting Kyler Murray, quarterback out of Oklahoma. Same pick as the last mock draft. So alright, I do want to make one quick note. I do think a trade is possible here. Probably, if I were to say anybody, it'd be the Raiders or the Giants coming up into the Cardinals spot to get Kyler Murray as well. I think no matter who gets him, I do think Kyler Murray is going off the board at the #1 spot, whether it's the Cardinals or someone else who traded up for the Cardinals pick to get Kyler Murray. And one other really quick kind of dark horse team that I really want to throw out there is the Buccaneers. Okay, the Buccaneers coming from 5-1 and snagging their franchise quarterback of the future. We all know Bruce Arians, coach for the Cardinals, and he left on really good terms. So I mean, there could be a connection there for a trade to happen if it's anybody, and they're in need of a quarterback. I know he said he places all of his trust in Winston and stuff, and they're gonna have, you know, all that, whatever. I'm not buying into all that. I think, yeah, if it's Winston, he'll go Winston and he'll do his best to help Winston play, but I think Arians might want his guy, and you know what? That may be Kyler Murray with a trade up with his former team, the Cardinals. And that would be interesting. That's a dark horse. That's kind of let's see if that happens. But no, if it's anybody, it's probably going to be the Raiders if it's anybody. But we'll see. Pick 2, Nick Bosa, defensive end, outside linebacker, Ohio State, just an edge presence, and same as the last pick. All right, here's where it differs. We've got the Jets. Instead of getting Andre Dillard, we have them getting Josh Allen, outside linebacker from Kentucky. I say another possible trade is here if they don't go Josh Allen and they're looking to trade down. I could see them trading down for a team that wants Quinnen Williams or one of the quarterbacks, Dwayne Haskins or Drew Lock. I could see the Jets trading down with a team like that, like the Giants or the Broncos or someone like that. And then in that case, I think they'd get Ed Oliver or someone like that if he happens to fall. Or very well could get Jonah Williams, Andre Dillard, Jawan Taylor, one of the top tackles in the draft, too, if they traded down, or even at this pick. I'm still not ruling that out, but I think they go Josh Allen. Since they missed out on Anthony Barr, they want a solid outside linebacker presence. All right, at 4, Quinnen Williams to the Raiders again. Just a monster defensive tackle out of Alabama. And yeah, I think that's the exact build for Gruden and what he's looking for in a defensive tackle. So there you go. All right, 5, the Buccaneers. If they don't trade up for Kyler Murray, I had them getting Josh Allen in the past mock draft, but I think they go Devin White here. They really need a linebacker. They lost out Quan Alexander, and I think Devin White, he's going to be a manimal, a monster, and I could see Bruce Arians really liking that, and the Buccaneers in general, so I think they get Devin White out of LSU. All right, at 6, I have the Giants getting the same position group as I had them getting. In the last mock draft, I had them getting Rashawn Gary, but he kind of took a hit over this week since a lingering injury was found, and there might be possible medical procedures, surgeries that will have to happen either during or after the season, depending on how his playtime is managed. But no, here I have them getting Ed Oliver. Same philosophy, same mindset, but instead of Rashawn Gary, they get Ed Oliver, who I think is going to be the better one of the two. I could see them both being pretty on par, pretty close to each other, pretty good respectively, but I think Ed Oliver, in my book, has the edge on the two. So the Giants get Ed Oliver out of Houston. All right, 7, the Jaguars. I have them getting Noah Fant, tight end out of Iowa, which is the same pick as I had them in the last mock draft. I really think they want to get a Mercedes Lewis, someone that Nick Foles can rely on, you know, Zach Ertz type of guy. Either that, or I could see them going at DK Metcalf or some type of receiving threat that Nick Foles can go to. I also wouldn't rule out one of the top offensive linemen here if they really like Jawan Taylor or Jonah Williams, one of those guys. All right, at 8, I have the Lions getting Greedy Williams. I had them getting DK Metcalf in the last one. Here I have them going defense. I think they might feel that the loss of Ziggy Ansah and the aging of Darius Slay, they may want to get someone else out there and to put opposite of Slay. And I think Greedy Williams is going to be the next Pat Pete type guy, so I could see it. I could definitely see the Lions snagging him right here. I could also see them taking a flyer on Rashawn Gary just in case, because hometown kid, they need to replace Ziggy Ansah. So I could see Rashawn Gary right here as well, but I think his injury history might push it back a little bit, and the fact that he has a lingering injury right now, it's not just, oh, he had a couple injuries in college, it's like he has one now. I think that drops him down the board. I could see it, but I do think Greedy Williams goes to the Lions right here. All right, the Bills, I had them selecting Ed Oliver, but he's already off the board, so we have them selecting Jonah Williams. They really need to work on that offensive line to protect Josh Allen. He was one of their leading rushers last season, and that's because he was getting pressured a lot. Those weren't all designed runs there, guys. So I could see them getting Jonah Williams from Alabama. He's probably, I don't want to say Joe Thomas, but he's looking like he's going to be really good, and he could definitely be the next Joe Thomas type player where he just dominates the league and is regarded as one of the top tackles for years to come. I could see that happening, and right here I see that happening with the Bills. All right, the Broncos, I'm changing it up. I actually really, I'm not gonna lie, I had Ed Oliver in this 2.0 for the longest time, and we had Devin White in the last one. The more I'm reading into it, I'm buying that if Drew Lock makes it to the Broncos, he's gonna be a Bronco. If he gets past the Raiders at 4, it's pretty much a lock that he'll be a Bronco. John Elway loves him apparently. And with Ed Oliver and Devin White already off the board, I think those were the only two players that the Broncos would take ahead of Locke. And right now, with those players off the board, Locke's still on the board. I mean, just to use another pun, just lock it in. I think Drew Lock, even though they have Joe Flacco, Locke can come in, sit under Flacco for a year or two, however long they feel they need to sit him, and then throw him in there and see what he can do. So Drew Lock going to the Broncos at number 10. All right, 11, Bengals getting Devin Bush. We had them getting Greedy Williams in the past mock draft, but here we have Devin Bush, who's actually jumping up a bunch of spots in this mock draft. They have apparently a big interest in Devin Bush and Devin White, but Devin White won't, I guarantee won't be on the board when the Bengals are picking unless they trade up. But Devin Bush, I almost can 100% guarantee that Devin Bush will be on the board, but not after pick 11, because I think the Bengals will pick him up with that pick. All right, pick 12, Packers. We have them getting the same positional group, but instead of Jonah Williams like we had last time, we have them getting Jawan Taylor. I could definitely see Jonah Williams, Jawan Taylor, Bills, Packers, a swap. I mean, it could be either or. I could see Jawan Taylor easily in a Bills uniform and Jonah Williams on the Packers. It's just depending on who they value more. If it's not going to be one of them, it's going to be the other, is I guess the whole point of this. Now, I think Jawan Taylor goes to the Packers right here if Jonah Williams is taken by the Bills. But pick 12, Jawan Taylor to the Packers. All right, 13, Dolphins getting Dwayne Haskins again. I think he falls or the Dolphins trade up for him. Either way, I really, if he's either going to be a Redskin or a Dolphin. I don't think the Giants are interested, and it may be just a smokescreen, but I don't buy into anyone saying that Dwayne Haskins is going to be a Giant. But right here, I'm sticking with what I had. Dwayne Haskins to the Dolphins. All right, at 14, we've got the Falcons again getting Christian Wilkins, the same pick from the last mock draft out of Clemson. Pretty straightforward. They need a defensive lineman, and they get one of the best ones still left on the board. So there you go, Christian Wilkins to the Falcons. All right, with pick 15, we have the Redskins getting Daniel Jones. We had them getting Drew Lock in the last mock draft, but we have him getting Daniel Jones right here. Pretty simple. Sit him under Case Keenum for 8 games or however long it takes Case Keenum to not do good anymore, and then bring in Daniel Jones or whichever quarterback they end up getting. Could be Dwayne Haskins, could be Drew Lock, could be Daniel Jones. But in this scenario, Daniel Jones sitting behind Case Keenum for a couple weeks and then coming in and see where it goes from there. But yeah, I think it's pretty much the same philosophy. They need a quarterback, they want a quarterback, and hopefully this quarterback doesn't break both of his legs by week 7. So, alright, Panthers, we have getting Clelin Ferrell again. Pretty simple. They need an edge presence since Julius Peppers retired, and I could also see Rashawn Gary going here, but I think Clelin Ferrell, he's going to be the better pick, so I'm going to have to go Clelin Ferrell again here, just like in the last mock draft. Alright, pick 17, Giants getting A.J. Brown again out of Ole Miss. I think they want to replenish their wide receiver core with a healthier, cheaper option, so yeah, A.J. Brown, who actually in my mock goes before DK Metcalf. That probably will not happen, but out of the two, I would pick A.J. Brown over DJ Metcalf any day of the week, but we'll see if teams feel the same way. Alright, pick 18, we have the Vikings getting the same positional group, which is tackle, but instead of Jawan Taylor, who went to the Packers earlier, we have Andre Dillard, who fell from my other mock draft from 3 all the way to this mock draft at 18, which I think a lot of people bought into the hype, and that's what I was going off of, and then the hype kind of died for Andre Dillard just to a certain extent, about 15 spots. And I think the decrease in hype is pretty much going to translate to the draft. And yeah, I do think Andre Dillard drops to to either the Packers, or I could see a number two. I could see the Falcons getting him, but I think right here Andre Dillard drops to the Vikings. All right, at 19, I have the Titans getting Brian Burns again. I think, to me, it's a great fit, and I could really see it happen. Put someone on the opposite side of Harold Landry. I think it's a good pick. All right, pick 20, I have the Steelers again getting TJ Hawkinson. I think Hawkinson will drop. A lot of people I see have him going to the Broncos and stuff, and I could see that too, but I don't know. I think Hawkinson will drop at least to the Steelers, maybe even lower, but not too much lower. I don't really see any other team that he could really go to from the Broncos to the Steelers. I saw one, I think, mock him to the Packers. I could see the Bengals getting him, but I think they're pretty... I think they think they're set with Eifert. And as far as the other teams, maybe the Panthers to say, hey, Greg Olsen, we're kind of getting ready to move on, bud, but we wanted to give Cam Newton another option. I don't know. I think he falls all the way to the Steelers here again, and I think he's going to be a good pick for him. The next, Heath Miller. They can yell Hawk or something. I don't know. All right, 21, Rashawn Gary. Finally, he's getting off the board. Pete Carroll loves college players that played on big stages. Being from USC, it makes sense. He likes those kind of guys. Rashawn Gary played at a big name program, and he played pretty well when he was able to. And again, I think he drops because of the injury, but I think Seahawks and Pete Carroll, they take a flyer on him. I mean, it's their second first-round pick. It's a guy who should have been in the top 10, very possible a top 5 pick, most definitely a top 10 pick, dropping to you at 29. If I were the Seahawks, I'd be okay with that too. And, trading away Frank Clark, they're going to need somebody, so they get Rashawn Gary to kind of replace Frank Clark and see what they can do with him. All right, at 22, Ravens getting DK Metcalf out of Ole Miss. Yeah, I have DK falling all the way down to 22. I think the hype, just like Andre Dillard, the Combine hype has decreased with every passing moment that the Combine has gotten further and further away from people's minds. And I think And I think DK Metcalf, that should be his nickname, is Decaf. Anyway, DK Metcalf will still go in the first round, but I don't think he's going to go as high as a lot of people think he's going to go. Much like, 2015 or 16 with Treadwell and Doxson and stuff. They started dropping and everyone was like, what? I think that's going to be the same kind of scenario with Metcalf and the other wide receivers. All right, at 23, I have the Texans getting Eric McCoy. Could definitely be Cody Ford, but I think they go interior. And the last one with the Texans, we had them getting Dexter Lawrence, which it definitely still could be, but I think they get Eric McCoy, a really strong presence in the middle of that offensive line with this draft. He's a solid presence interior, and they could use him at guard or center, either one that they need at the moment. He's pretty versatile in the middle, and it'll just add to the effectiveness of Deshaun Watson once that line gets upgraded with Eric McCoy. All right, at 24, we have the Raiders getting DeAndre Baker with their second pick. In my previous mock draft, they went Cody Ford, and I could definitely still see that happening since Cody Ford's still on the board, good rhyming. I could also see Dexter Lawrence. I could also see Josh Jacobs or even a Rashawn Gary or someone like that. But no, I think they go DeAndre Baker, the best cornerback still on the board by many people's opinion. And yeah, I think they try to build up. They're trying to build up their defense through this draft, at least the first couple of picks. All right, the Eagles at 25. I think that's where Cody Ford goes. I think his ability to be a guard or a tackle will definitely get Doug Peterson to bite and Roseman to bite on him. I think they'll groom him to be the next Jason Peters for him at left tackle, but he could easily go inside, or even if Lane Johnson gets another roid suspension, or even if he gets hurt or whatever, he can fill in at right tackle too. I think he's very versatile on that line, and I think the Eagles they love versatility, so I could definitely see them going Cody Ford here. All right, at 26, the Colts getting Dexter Lawrence, who has dropped. He could easily be a top 15 pick, but he has dropped to him, and I think they don't hesitate. They just pull the trigger and go Dexter Lawrence from Clemson to add to that already intimidating defense that got him to the playoffs this past season. All right, at 27, the Raiders with their third and final pick of the first round get Montez Sweat, their next Khalil Mack type player, who was dropped on my mock mainly due to the heart murmur situation and the medical issues. I don't think they'll affect him too badly, and I think he'll be a great pro, but I see him dropping. A lot of people still have him top 10, and I'm like, I mean, I can see that. I wouldn't be surprised, but in a way I still would be, because I think teams take a lot of medical stuff, especially pre-draft, right near draft medical stuff, very seriously, and I think they'll take that seriously, but I do think the Raiders bite at 27. I think that's pretty much they're like, all right, yeah, we got this. So they get Montez Sweat, and they don't look back. And they with that pick, have gone defense in all 3 picks of the first round. I mean, to be fair, that's exactly where they need them. Again, I could see Josh Jacobs here, but I think they go defense, because I think that's what Gruden wants to invest in right now. Well, we'll see how it goes. All right, at 28, I have the Chargers getting Rocky Singh is how I would wish it was pronounced. I'm gonna rock you, son. But no, it's Rocky Sin out of Temple, who's getting a lot of hype. I actually kind of think he'll go second round, and the hype will die out. But hey, hype, especially days before the draft hype, and which he is definitely getting, I think might boost you up a couple spots, and I have it boosting him up to 28. I could also see the Patriots biting on him, or even the Rams, because Keep Talib's not getting any younger, and they're going to be looking in the market for a quarterback coming up soon, so might as well just get one and train them right under Talib and Peters. But no, I think the Chargers, who obviously let Jason Verrett walk and go to the 49ers, I mean, they still have Casey Hayward, but I don't know. I think they go Rocky Sin here. I could also see them going defensive tackle if one of them drops, like if Dexter Lawrence drops. I could see them going that. I could also see a Greg Little or someone like that, an offensive lineman, a Lindstrom, someone like that. But no, I think they go Rocky Sin here at 28. All right, the Seahawks, who just today, as of recording, just a couple of hours ago, traded Frank Clark to the Chiefs in exchange for a first-round draft pick. This first-round draft pick and a 2020 second-round draft pick, and they swapped this year's third-round picks. I have them actually instead of DeAndre Baker, and for all the reasons I said in the last video, I gave him DeAndre Baker the last time. I'm swapping it, and I'm actually going the hometown kid. I did before this have the Chiefs getting Marquise Brown, but here I have the Seahawks getting Byron Murphy from Washington. I think Pete Carroll will say, you know what, I like this kid enough, and he's, from right down the street. We got good tape on him. We scouted him really well, better than they did at Devin Hester. If you don't know what I'm talking about, there's a video on the NFL Instagram where Devin Hester is talking to Pete Carroll White and recruit him out of USC. It's pretty funny. But anyway, no, Byron Murphy, hometown kid, going to the Seahawks. All right, at 30, we have Marquise Brown going to the Packers, as we did in the last mock draft. I think they want to replace Randall Cobb type production, and Marquise Brown is pretty close to what Randall Cobb brought to the table. So I could definitely see Marquise Brown going right here. Also, it was said that during the 2017? Yeah, 2017, I believe. Whenever Tyreek Hill came out, the Packers were heavily interested in drafting Tyreek Hill, but the Chiefs took him with their pick instead. And Marquise Brown's really talent-wise, on the field-wise, is pretty similar to Tyreek Hill, and therefore I do think the Packers trying to get their offense up and going and jump started will go Marquise Brown. Alright, at 31, I have the Rams getting Josh Jacobs out of Alabama, and you're like, what? They got Todd Gurley, what's going on? What are you doing, buddy? And I'll be like, yeah, well, Todd Gurley has some injury issues, including arthritis, which is a bitch. And especially in the knee, that is not good. That is not good for Todd Gurley moving forward. They'll want to decrease his workload. And I think they do that here because they saw how effective the two-back system can be with Sean McVay, because they had C.J. Anderson there in the playoffs and at the end of the regular season for a little bit, and they were like, dude, this could work, man, if we just had a good second back. And to be honest, I think John Kelly could be that back, but I don't know if they're seeing that, or maybe I'm wrong on that. And they're close. They know better than I do probably, and I'm probably wrong, but I think John Kelly could be that back. But anyway, no, I think they get Josh Jacobs here to be that second back and eventually take over for Todd Gurley when Todd Gurley's knee is not capable of handling any type of workload, and he gets shipped to the Raiders for a 6th round pick or something. But anyway, no, Josh Jacobs going to the Rams in a thinking ahead move. If that were to happen, I'd be like, you know what, that's actually pretty smart. So Josh Jacobs going to the Rams here. Alright, and last pick, the Patriots getting Greg Little in a Patriots move. I could also see Irv Smith or whatever here, or one of the tight ends that's not TJ Hawkinson or Noah Fant. I could also see them going here, or a defensive end like Jokai Polite or whatever his name is. I could see one of those guys going here. But no, I think Greg Little, they were like, all right, we lost Trent Brown and we need somebody. Let's just go ahead and get Greg Little, fill the place. And, Patriots move. It's not sexy, but it's actually pretty good. I think Greg Little will be all right. He won't be the best offensive lineman, but I don't see him being a Eric Flowers or anything like that. I think he'll be pretty serviceable, like a Marcus Gilbert or a Cordy Glenn, where you don't really hear about him much, but he's doing his job and not allowing too many sacks. And yeah, I think they go in a protection move of Brady rather than a Brady replacement. They could, later down the line get Greer or Stidham or something like that. I could definitely see that. Or even, hell, next draft they draft Tua Tagovailoa, and for some reason that's the move. I don't know. They trade all the way to 1 to get Tua. Why not, right? Anyway, no, I could see the Patriots getting Greg Little right here to replace Trent Brown and, remain unsexy. But hey, as long as you're winning, unsexy doesn't matter, right? But anyway, that's going to do it for us here today. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, hit that like button. If you haven't already, hit that subscribe button. And please comment down below what you think about my picks and what you would do differently. I would love to hear from you on that. Who would be your top 5 picks? Or who would be all 32 if you want? I think you could, there's enough characters in a YouTube comment, then you can comment a whole mock draft. I would love to see that from you guys. So if you want to, feel free to comment a whole mock draft, top 5, top 10, whatever you feel like, just certain picks, your team's pick. Who do you think your team will pick? Who do you want them to pick? And anything like that down below. I would love to read those comments from you guys, so hit me up down there, or with anything you want to tell me. I'd be glad to look at it. But anyway, that is going to do it for us here today. So, as always, I'm Buddy Strange. This is StrangeVoodooTV. Keep it strange, people. I'll see you in the next one, and peace out.